Welcome to first episode of Tattoo Artist Reacts. Today I'm going to be looking at Daniel Silva, and he does a Joker tattoo. We're going to be talking through some techniques that he uses, and I think it's a really good series because you can learn a lot by watching how other people do things. Everything that we cover in these React videos is all things that we've done or going to be doing on the course. So it's a really good example to show you that everything that we've been covering is what is used by world-class artists. If you've seen a good piece of artwork on YouTube or any other platform that you want me to do a video like we're going to be doing today, reacting and talking about what they're doing and why, then feel free, shoot me a message, add it into the comments, and I'll do my best to cover everything that you guys want to see. So let's get straight on with having a look. So we can see he's put stencil on, he's done it central onto the forearm. He's not done an overcomplicated stencil. You can see with glove and bottom, it's quite simple. The area in the middle, that's where he's put all the detailing. Now, Daniel's method of tattooing is stipple, which we've got a full module on course for that, but you can see he's just brushing back and forth. He's obviously right-handed. We can see his left hand is doing the stretching. He's just spreading the skin with his two fingers and thumb majority of the time, and you'll notice that throughout the video. But if we look at the techniques that he's using, here is swapping constantly between whip shading, brush shading. So you can see he's constantly brushing back and forth, going over more in the areas that needs to be darker. And we'll see shortly he also uses cross-hatching. If you notice the method of shading that he's using, so he's brushing now, but he's also doing it in the direction that the shading needs to be. So he's following the design. He's not just going up and down if the design looks like it's supposed to be going side to side, even with the shading. You can see he's using either a single or a really tight 3. Look how small that detail is, which he's got to be one of the most well-known best artists for doing that super small detailing stipple technique. For anybody that's tried doing smaller designs, if we look now, he's getting all them really small details in. Perfect for micro realism, which is quite a lot of people on the course that like doing that sort of stuff. Marcus Kingland, in his interview that we did, that's definitely something that he'll be doing. But if you notice, he's just brushing back and forth and using the stipple method, the lighter areas, the darker areas, but everything that he's done so far has all been done with that same needle, just building it up layer by layer. So you can see he's putting all the details in first, the darker areas, then he's building up with the shading. Being careful, working from the bottom of the design look and then working up. So you can see now he's going to start blocking in the face and just getting them key features in. He's not going to start adding all the shading straight away. He's going to come down and finish the bottom of the design and then come back to the face at a later date. But this area of blocking, because it's a key feature of the design, what he don't want to be doing is lose that stencil during the process. So the reason why he's doing it in this order is to block in those details so they can't smudge loose stencil and just cause problems for himself later on. But even all that light shading areas, if we look, it's still using the same method, exactly what we do in the course, stipple method. We can't see from this video what grey wash systems he's using. He might mention it earlier or after the tattoo, but we're just watching the tattoo and talking about it. But you can see he's building it up in layers. So you can see after the first day, the face wasn't complete. We can see he's just got the basic shapes in. Now he's coming back and from the bottom, working his way up. One of the things that we can see straight away is he's not overly stretching the skin. So that says instantly that the customer's got quite taut skin. You can see from the little interview section he's not overly old, he's quite young, his skin will be nice and supple, so there's no need to pull on skin trying to tear it in half. If the ink's going in fine and it's not bouncing around, then that's all you need to do. But look how small these details are now. Little honeycomb circular pattern. That takes a lot of practice. So when them earlier lessons where we're just doing the dots following the line, to be able to do something like this, you've really got to know exactly where your needle's going to be hitting skin. So we can see for a moment there he'd swap needles to a small mag, and that's to create a different effect. If you look at the shading in the middle compared to the shading underneath, that stipple effect has now gone and it's a smoother shading, so the contrast and the difference between the two makes it really pop out. But even building these light areas, look, you can just see his brush shading back and forth, building it up layer by layer. More in the darker areas, just going over it once or twice, and now he's swapped back to a mag just to smooth out that shading at bottom, just strengthening the darks up that he did previous day. And then we can see he's jumped back onto mag to start doing some shading. Now he's swapped back to a small lining needle. So just by watching this we can see use the needles to create different effects. He's not just stuck with one needle throughout the entire tattoo, he's jumping from one to another. Same as a decorator, you're not going to paint a full wall with a toothbrush, you're going to get a roller and use right tool for job. That don't mean that there's a right or wrong way of doing anything, just make sure that depending on the results that you're wanting to get, you use the appropriate tools to get there. So we can see he'd already done this yesterday, but now he's building it all up. It's almost like day one was to block in the basic shapes. Day two is to come back in and really emphasize and build all them details up. But again, you can see skin moving around slightly. He's not overly stretching it. He's really trying to make it pop. If you look at the dark areas, it's quite high contrast image this. He's got them darks really dark, and he's got the lights just left with negative, no ink. And he's going to come and put some whites in, but you already, even without them highlights in, the contrast really pops as an image. Notice he's not just sticking in one area, he's obviously looking, seeing what he's doing, constantly using reference, jumping back and forth, darkening things up as he needs. Going back right down to beginning now, you can see all the shading that he put in previous day. As just a guide, now he's adding all them tiny small details, all done, I'm assuming, like I said, it's either a single or a 3 bug pin liner. Now, fun part, whacking all them whites in. So if you notice, he's not just colouring everywhere in white, he's just highlighting certain areas. So hopefully he's going to give us a good look at the finished piece. So we'll get to have a look. I'm going to just, so if we look at the whites, is just use it as you should. Too many people just colour big areas in white. I always say, and this is a perfect example, just use the whites to highlight specific areas that you want to be a focal point. Because that area will then pop, it'll make your eyes focus in on that area. So if you want somebody to look at your design and automatically be attracted to the eyes, for example, that's where you'd put predominantly all your highlights. We can see here just on tie is just on the light areas. Very little at the bottom because that's not the focal point of the piece. So absolutely, he's a world-class artist. Obviously he's done an absolutely amazing job, and there's nothing in that we've not already covered in the course, so this is what's achievable. So hope you enjoyed the video. It's good practice to not just obviously obsess and look at your own work, but you can learn so much by doing what other people do. So everybody that's on the course, you'll all be able to relate to this. I cover methods and ways of doing things that particularly I don't use. So you might watch this video, give it a try, use the methods that Daniel's used in this video. They might work for you, they might not, but never rule something out until you've given it a good go again and again. Don't just rule it out first time. But I think it's an amazing tattoo. Absolute credit to the bloke, and I can't wait to do some more. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you hit the bell, hit that subscribe button. It really does help channel grow, and it fuels us and gives us a lot more time and incentive to make more videos like this. Thank you, hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, see you in the next one.